Yes, we indeed are live, and I hope you are able to listen to me. Everything is clear with respect to voice. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, good evening, everyone. Yeah, okay, so we are going to begin shortly in a moment. And if you are new to this channel, again, subscribe, and we are again going to solve some interesting problems, and we are also going to look at the basics as well, because that's where we miss out on. Hi, good evening, good evening. Okay, we can begin. We can begin right now. Okay. And again, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. We are also going to conduct lives in the coming week. So please make sure to subscribe. It's going to be beneficial for you. Okay. Okay, let's begin. So again, I'm going to talk about I'm going to start from the basics itself. So when I am talking about, let's say, Python, right? Also, guys, after the session gets over, I'm going to take in doubts. So please feel free to put in doubts. Okay, please feel free to put in doubts. No issues on that part. Okay, so let's begin. With respect to Python, again, I'm not going to jump into advanced concepts at first. I'll begin with the basic ones. So what are the basics? Well, the by basics I mean that okay, let's talk a little about maybe bit manipulation, right? Bit manipulation. Okay. So when I talk about bit manipulation, let's say we have few of these operations which are quite necessary or quite important with respect to MCQs, and we kind of miss out on those. So what are they? The first one says there's this AND bit operation, like AND operation. So bitwise AND. So by the way, this is known as bitwise AND if you want the proper term, bitwise AND. And then there is this OR, so you can just call this at bitwise, let's say OR. We have XOR as well, so you can call this as bitwise XOR, and then so on. Then again, we have few of the other things such as you can see I have written two greater than symbols, right? And then there's this two less than symbols. So what are these? So these two greater than symbols means this is nothing but the bitwise, let's say, right shift operator, right shift operator. Okay. Now this one, left, double left, less than symbol, but it's like two times. This is basically a left shift operator. Left shift. So this should be shift operator. Okay. So again, we are going to cover all of these. Again, it won't really take a lot of time. Let's begin. So let's say we are going to begin with and. We are going to begin with, let's say, and. So for and, what I can think of is, let's say I'm going to take a number, let's say 5, and I'll say I'll perform one and operation in Python, basically and operation, and then I'll perform it with, let's say, 9. Okay, so how will I be able to do this? Well, if this is something which is given in an MCQ, then what you have to do is you have to just convert them to the respective binary representation. So how will I be able to do that? Well, 5 can be represented as follows. I guess that should be 1 0 1. So this is how 5 can be represented. If I talk about 9, then I guess 9 can be represented as 1 0 0 and 1, if I'm not wrong. Now, again, I'm going to perform an AND operation here itself. Okay. Now you see here that okay, I'm kind of missing out on this parameter here, right? I mean, for 1 I have a 1 here, for 0 I have a 0 here, for 1 I have a 0 here, but for this one I see there's nothing here. So what can I do? I can just fill it up with a dummy 0 and it won't really affect, right? So on other terminologies, I can say that okay, I can fill as many zeros to the left, but I cannot fill as many zeros to the right because that's going to be violating, right? So I can fill as many zeros to the left, no issues on that part. Okay, let's begin. So AND operation says basically that okay, if both of your bits are 1, if both of your bits are 1, your answer is 1. Else your answer is 0. That's it. So in this case, 1 and 1. What will this give me? This will give me 1. And I see 0 and 0, 0. 1 and 0, 0. 0 and 1, 0. Now, why is this happening? Just because basically 1 and 1, if both of the bits are 1, then the answer is, or the output is 1. In this case, this is going to be my answer. So if I perform 5 and 9, this is going to give me 1. If you convert this to, let's say, decimal representation, this will be 1 itself. Okay. So this is AND operation. Let's talk a little about OR operation. So let's say I'm going to do 5, let's say, or let's say 9. Okay, 5 or 9. So in Python, how will I be able to do that? Well, again, I'll say here that, okay, with respect to 5, what I'll do is I'll convert this to binary representation, which is 101, 9 as 1001, and again, I'll just fill it up with 0. So I'm performing an OR operation. Notice carefully, I'm performing an OR operation. Okay. So OR operation says that, okay, whenever you get 1 in any one of those two bits, whenever you get 1 in any one of those two bits, your output is 1. So in this case, let's say I have four possibilities. If I consider two numbers, let's say 1 and 0, I have four possibilities. What are the four possibilities? It's basically 1, 1, 1 0 0 1, and then let's say 0 and 0. So in this case, again, I mentioned if any one of these bits is 1, the output is 1. So I'll say in this case the output is 1, in this case the output is 1, in this case the output is 1, in this case the output will be 0, because I see there is no 1 in here. So again, on that note, let's begin. So 1 and 1 will give me basically 1, 0 0 will give me 0, 1 0 will give me 1, and again 0 1 will give me 1. So if I convert this to, let's say, a number representation, this will look something like this. So 1101 is basically, this is 8, 4, 2, and 1. So again, I can compute it in this way as well. So 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 1 is 13. So this is 13. So if I perform 5 or 9, it's going to give me 13. That's it. Okay. Okay, I don't see any doubts here right now. You can, again, guys, you can just throw in your doubts. No issues on that. You can just throw in your doubts and I'm going to solve it later on. Okay. Okay, great. Um, Again, for the new viewers right now, if you are new, please make sure to subscribe the channel. We will be able to solve more and more questions. Okay. Let's move on to XOR operation. Let's move on to XOR operation. Okay, XOR operation. So again, XOR operation can be, let's say I'm going to do 5 XOR and 9. Okay, so XOR operation says, again, I'll be able to do that like as follows. So 5 is nothing but 101, 9 is basically 1001, and let's say this is going to be filled with 0, and I'm performing basically a XOR operation. Okay, so XOR operation says, if I'm not wrong, it says that, okay, if, notice carefully, if both the bits are, let's say, are same, in that case the output should be 1, else the output should be 0. Okay, so in this case I see 1 and 1 is there, so what I'll do is my output should be 1, 0 and 0. Output should be, let's say, 1 in this case. 1 and 0, output is 0, 0 and 1 is 0. So this is what it should be. So basically, let's say we have four possibilities: 0 0 0 1, 1 0, and 1 1. In this case, if I consider all of these possibilities and the answers, then again I mentioned, if both the bits are, let's say, 1, then the answer is, I mean, if both the bits are same, the answer is 1, else 0. So in this case, let's say 0 0 will be 1, this will be 1, else all of these will be zeros. So again, that's pretty much it. If I consider this like as 0 0 1 1, then this is basically 8, 4, 2, and 1, which kind of translates to 3 itself. Okay, now we have right shift operator here. We have a right shift operator. So let's see that. So again, right shift operator can be performed quite easily. Let's say I'm going to assign one variable, variable 1. So I'll say here that, okay, let's say I have a number 5 and I perform a right shift. 5 right shift, this is the like representation, 5 right shift, and then let's say 2. So what is this going to do? Let's see. So it's saying that, okay, please represent 5 in terms of, let's say, binary representation. So that will look something like this: 1 0 and 1. This is what 5 is. Now it's saying shift all of these bits by 2 places forward. So again, this is the forward direction, right? So I'm going to shift all of these bits by 2 places forward. So again, let's say if ever this was basically represented as an array, then again, if I wanted to shift all of them, this will be something like this. Okay, this will be let's say something like this. I'm going to do that. Um, so this will be, I guess, 101. So this is going to be 00101, if I'm not wrong. So right now I can see that, okay, the values are itself same enough, right? I mean, I don't need to be worrying about any stuff here. Okay. Let's talk a little about left shift operator here. So let's say this is going to be impacting a little bit. So 5 left shift, let's say 2. So in this case, if I represent 5, so that should be, I guess, 101, right? By the way, right here, like if you do something like this, again, let's say this is like up here, I can see that, okay, nothing is existing, right? So if I do something like that, this won't really be the answer, by the way. So let's say I'm going to move in the forward direction. This is for the, by the way, right shift operator. I'm not talking about the left shift one. So you can see up here, there's nothing existing, right? So if I do 101 right shift by 2, then 1 comes up here, 1 places forward. I mean, 2 places forward. 0 comes up here, 2 places forward. And 1 comes up here. That's it. So if I draw the new representation, this will be something like this. 0, 0, 1 is the new one here, and there's nothing here. So if I do basically the number format, this will be 1. So literally 5, let's say 5, right shift operator 2 is going to give me 1. Okay, this might seem a little bit confusing. Let's do another one. Let's say I'm going to take a number like 9 itself, no issues. So 9, let's say right shift 3. Okay, 9, right shift 3. So 9 is basically represented as 1001, if I'm not wrong. Again, it's saying please right shift it by 3 places. So again, what will be the answer? Let's see. So again, I can see that, okay, there's nothing existing here, right? There's nothing existing here. So what I'll do is, notice carefully, I'll use a different color here. 1 will be shifted by 3 places. So 1, 2, 3, 1 comes up here. 0 will be shifted by 3 places. 1, 2, 3, 0 comes up here. 0 will be shifted by 3 places. 1, 2, 3, 0 comes up here. 1 will be shifted by 3 places. That's 1, 2, and 3. So 1 also comes up here. So in this case, if I draw a new representation, it would look something like this. So since all of these 3 places are shifted, I see like this will be 0, 0, 0, and this 1 will be literally up here. And again, I see that there are cross marking, which means that, okay, nothing exists here. So again, if I convert this to a number representation, that would be 1 itself. Okay, I hope the right shift operator is clear. Okay, on that note, let's begin with the left shift operator. So in this case, I see 5 left shift 2. 5 left shift 2. So again, I'm going to draw these representations. Let's say this is the basic representation. And again, I think so I don't need the very last one. Yes. So in this case, if I shift all of these bits by to the left by 2 places, by 2 places. So what will that look like? 1 will be shifted up here, 0 will be up here, and this 1 will be up here. So again, if I just redraw this, this will look something like this. If I'm not wrong, this will look 101. And since these places are shifted, so they do not exist. So that's 0, 0. And now if I try to convert this to, let's say, number, this will be literally something like this. So that's 1, 2, let's say 4, 8, and 16, if I'm not wrong. So this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, exactly. So again, if I just compute the values here, that should be 16 plus 4 is 20. So if I do something like 5 left shift 2, then that's going to be 20. Okay, let's take another example. Let's say I have a number, let's take a smaller one. Let's say 4. Okay, and I will do 4 left shift, let's say 3. Then what will be the output? Let's see. So again, 4 is there. How will I represent 4? That will be 100, if I'm not wrong. And again, it's saying left shifted by 3. So again, if I get 3 places here and try to do the operation, then this will look something like this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1 will be shifted up here, 0 will be shifted up here, 0 will be shifted up here, and I see these are blank spaces, so I fill it up. That's it. So in this case, again, if I try to convert this to a number format, that will be something like this: 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. And I see my answer will be 32 itself. That's it. Okay. So that's a little about the bitwise operations. And again, I hope this was clear enough. And or right shift and left shift. And again, questions will be revolving around this. Okay. So let's begin with, let's say, the basic list, tuples, set operations, and maybe dictionary operations as well. Before moving on to that, let's see if we have got any doubt here. Okay, one guy is saying you can use the formula to get the answer. Yeah, I get it. You're talking about basically Kishore, right? Yeah, Kishore, I can get your point. You're talking about basically with respect to right shift and left shift operators, right? And not with, let's say, ZOR or AND. Because I remember there's a formula which you can use to get the answer. I remember. Okay, did I mess up on zorgate? Did I mess up? Okay. 5 zor 9, it's 12, sir. Okay, some guy is saying 5 zor 9 is 12. Did I mess up there? Might be. So 5 zor 9, right? So 5 was literally 101, 9 was literally 1001. So if I'm doing a zor, then let's say this will be 001 and let's say 1. Okay, did I mess up on? Yes, I think so. So I was explaining with respect to Zor, right? That okay, if there are four possibilities, 1001 and let's say 11 and 00, then I think so. I think so. I told you that if both the bits are same, then the answer is one. Okay, no, that won't really be a thing here. I see. So if both the bits are different, then the output is 1. So in this case, 10 will give me 1, 01 will give me basically, let's say 1. And since both of them are same, so this will be 0. I think I messed up on this part. No issues on that. So again, if I do, let's say a 5 XOR 9, then this will be literally 12. And thank you for pointing that out. Kind of missed out on that part. Yes, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. See, even I made a mistake. So no issues, no issues. Som Naidu. Yeah, Som Naidu. Soman Naidu. Yes, thank you, thank you. Yes, definitely. I'll explain functions, no issues. How to convert, let's say, how to convert binary from form, right? So let's see. Okay, right shift operator, explain once again. No issues, no issues. I'll do that. I'll do that. So let me clear all of these stuff and then we can begin again. Okay. So binary, you're talking about right shift operator, right? See, whenever I'm saying you, let's say I'm gonna give you a number 6, and I tell you that okay, right shifted by let's say a random number 2. I can take even a higher number, but I'm taking a smaller number 2. So what you have to do is pick 6, and the first step says that okay, write the write the let's say the binary format, the binary format for 6, right? The binary format for 6. So what will be the binary representation of the number 6? That will be something like this. If I'm not wrong, 110. That's it. 110. Now, whenever you have the binary representation, you see the next number here. You definitely know it's a right shift operator. This is basically the right shift operator. So right now you know the second number is 2. So what you do is you just simply draw two places or two blank spaces here. That's it. You draw two blank spaces here, and you say that okay, these blank spaces are kind of not existing, so you just draw a cross here as well. Okay, now this is how you will be able to interpret this. You will say that since it's 2, I'll shift all of these bits by two places forward. I'll shift. Second step says that okay, shift all of these let's say bits by two places forward. So again, if up here it's 3, then I'll say 3 places forward. I hope that makes sense. So again, bits by two places forward. That's pretty much it. So again, what will I be able to do? 0 will be shifted by two places forward. So that's one jump, two jump. So 0 comes up here. For 1, that's one jump, two jump. So 1 comes up here. For this one, this will be one jump, two jump. So this 1 comes up here. So you see, if I just redraw this has been left out, this has been left out, so this can be converted back to, let's say there are 5 blank spaces if I'm not wrong. So up here I see this that's not existing. 1 and 0 came up here, and then I see 1 came up here, so all of them are shifted by, let's say, two places forward, 1 1 0 0, and I see 0 0 will be here, right? I mean, because there's nothing here, right? So that's it. Now you see these positions are not considering, like these are the positions we are not considering. So take all of the numbers before that, which is literally 0 0 and 1. In this case, my output should be basically 1. That's it. Hi everyone. Again, if you are new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe. We are going to solve more and more questions, okay? Yes, Amrendra, I have explained right shift operator, so I hope you are able to understand this. And again, after the session gets over, this video will be definitely available. You can go through that again. Okay. Okay, great. One guy was saying that, okay, please explain me how to convert to binary representation, right? So let's say I have a number 10. How will I be able to do that? How am I kind of writing in this way? 1010. Is there any magical formula? No. Like this is kind of like a little bit of practice, but again, this is not even practice required. So what you'll say is whenever you are given a number n, what you do is simply write numbers from 0 till, let's say I'm gonna write till 5 or 6. Okay, let's say I'm gonna write till 5 or 6. So I'm gonna write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is how you will be able to convert a number to, let's say, a binary representation. Let's see. So once you have written down the numbers from 0 till, let's say, 6, but you can see I've written down in reverse order, right? That's it. So what you'll do is in the next step, you will compute the power of 2. So for example, 2 to the power of 0 will be 1, 2 to the power 1 will be 2, 2 to the power 2 will be 4, 2 to the power 3 will be 8, 2 to the power 4 will be 16, 2 to the power 5 will be 32, and again 2 to the power 6 will be, I guess, 64 if I'm not wrong. No, 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 no. With respect to all of these values which I've written down here, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, fill up all of those values with 0. Okay, so let's say all of these values are corresponding to these numbers 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Now, whenever at a particular number, let's say 32, the value is 0, then it means I'm not taking that bit. I'm not taking that bit. And let's say at the 32 place, the value of the bit is 1, then it means I'm taking that bit into consideration. So again, if I say that, okay, please, n is let's say 10, then can you represent this in the binary format or the binary representation? You might be like, yes. And how? I'll say how. So what you'll do is, let's say like in the place of 8 you remove 0, and in the place of 2 you remove 0. So let's say you place 1 here, and let's say you place 1 here. So you can see here that, okay, let me just shift this up little up here. So you can see here that, okay, at 8 we have 1, at 2 we have 1. So if I just add these two, that I will get 8 plus 2 is equivalent to 10. And believe me, you will be able to form any number, not a floating point number, but an integer. Okay, so let's do one more. Let's say I'm going to tell you a number, let's say a bigger one, 28. Okay, 28. How will I be able to do that? N is, let's say, 28. N is 28. How will I be able to do that? Well, for 28, can I can I like set 32 to 1? That will be a violation, right? Because I see that 32 is itself a bigger number than 28, so I'm not going to do that. Can I set 16 to 1? Yes, there's a possibility. So what I'll do is, let's say I'll set 16 to 1. This is a trial and error thing, right? So we can set different bits 1, and then we'll be able to figure out. Okay, 16 is 1. 28 minus 16. I'm left out with, let's say, this is 2 and this is 1. So I'm left out with 12. How will I be able to form 12 out of these remaining numbers? I see if I put 8 and 4 with ones, then I'll be able to form 12. So if you just consider all of these three numbers, you get what? 16 plus 8 plus 4, which is, I guess, 16 plus 8 is 24, 24 plus 4 is 28. That's it. This is how you will be able to form the numbers. And again, while representing, you really don't need all of these previous numbers, but you need the numbers from the very first bit of 1. I mean, from the very first position where 1 is occurring. Okay. And again, I can have a lot of zeros here, but again, this is not really important. Okay. That's it. Yeah, we can. Vishal, we guess you are correct. We can use that. I mean, I was explaining with respect to someone who is new to this, so therefore I explained it from scratch itself. No issues on that. Okay. Let's begin with, let's say, lists. Okay, so when I talk about lists in general, so I can represent, let's say, numbers in this format: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is kind of valid here. 1, 2, 3. Now there's a question from my end for you guys. What if I want to represent something like this? Let's say 1, 1, 2, 3, and let's say 3, and let's say 4 and 5. Will this be represented using list? I mean, is this a valid representation? Like, can you guys respond with a yes or no? Like, this is the list which I'm talking about. This is a list right here, but I'm also drawing some list, like let's say list 1, right? So these are the numbers here. Is this a valid representation? I see inside of this list I have a number 1, I have another list here, and then I have a number 3, then again I have another list here inside of which numbers are there. So is this a valid representation? Yes, I see a bunch of yeses. Yes. Bharat said no. Okay. I was Bharat at some point of a time. No issues on that. Nested list. Correct. 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 Nested list, or you can say that this is close to a 2D array representation, right? Sublist under a list. Great. 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 That's correct. Excuse me. So that's correct. You can kind of represent it in this way. Okay. Now, what if I say that I want to, let's say this is my list here. This is my list here. And I'll give you a few options here, okay? This is one. Let's say this is one, two. This is three, four, and five. And that's pretty much it. And I'll say this is, let's say six here, right here. Then I say that please, please, please give me the location. Let's say please give me the location for let's say, again, this is basic question, but again we tend to miss out on this. Please give me the location of, let's say, the number 4. So where is the number 4 located? I'll give you a few options here. I'll give you 4 options. Don't jump on the conclusion yet. So let's say I'm gonna give you list of, this is the first option, second option, and let's say I'm gonna give you third option. Only 3 options, no, nothing as such. So list of, let's say, 0 and 1. This is the first option. Second option says list of, let's say, 1 and, let's say, 1. And third option is, let's say, list of 1 and, I guess, 2 and, I guess, 1. And the fourth option is, let's say, list of 1 and, let's say, 2 and, let's say, 2. So in this case, out of all of these 4 options, which is going to give me the correct answer 4? Which of these is going to give me correct answer, which is going to be 4? Can you like, absorb this question right now? I hope you are able to understand this. This is the list. 1 comma, again I see there's a list here. Inside of that there's numbers 1 2. Again there's a list here. Inside of that numbers 3 4 5. The list closes, this list closes, comma, number 6. How will I be able to get 4 out of all of these options? What is the valid option you see here? Okay, I see. Okay, so the answers are popping right now. I see a bunch of threes and fours, so there's a mix of that. I see one guy is saying two, no issues. Four, someone is saying one. Okay. Okay, so all of them, most of them are saying three. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Great, great, great. Yeah, most of them are correct. Let's see if option four is okay. So for the ones who are saying option one, let me tell you. For the ones who are saying option one, there's no right or correct answer. I'll tell you what's happening. List of 0 and 1. List of 0 and 1. Okay. So see, I'll tell you what's happening. So in list here, in this list here, the zeroth index, at the zeroth index, one is there. At the 1th index, this entire stuff is there. This entire stuff is there. Okay, this entire stuff is there. In the second index, this number 6 is there. I hope this is clear right now. Now I'm saying list at 0, which is 1. And I'm saying list at 0, which is 1 of 1. And this is going to give me an error because I cannot access indexing in something called integer. This is simply an integer. That's going to be an error. Okay, what about list of 1 and 1? List of 1 is basically 1. I'm referring to this list here, new list here. And I'm saying 1, which is going to be inside of this, if you consider 0 1, this is going to be the second sublist. So in this case, 1 is going to be basically 2. So again, this is going to give me the value 2. Okay, so for the ones who are saying 3, for that the answer is correct. Let's see. List of 1 is going to be represented like I'm focusing on this list, and again 2, I'm focusing on this sub list, and again I'm saying 1, so I'm focusing on this number. So if you take a closer look at this, 0 1 and 2, so again you see 1 is at 4, so this is going to be the correct answer. This is going to give me 4. Okay, what is this 4 doing? Again, this is not really correct. 1 and 2 is going to represent this list, and this 2 is going to give me 5, which is not something I want. That's it. So again, the correct answer is 4. And you have to be aware of all of these things, right? Like this is basically a normal accessing of values, and I hope you were able to understand. Still, I saw many guys were saying 1 2 4, right? But that's not the actual solution. Okay. Some I think someone was saying please explain functions. I'll definitely explain that. Let's Okay, let's try to do this. What I'll do is, notice carefully. Suppose this is my indentation block. I mean, this is the line. I won't go left or right. I mean, I won't go left up here. I'll write the code up here itself. Let's see. So I'm saying, notice carefully, I'm saying let's say one variable is there, x is there, right? And I say the variable's x value is hello. Now, what I'll do is I'll write something like this. For I in range, not really range, but let's say I'm going to write for I in x, and I'll say, notice carefully, x is equivalent to ABC, and I'll say x plus equal to x plus equal to I. Now, in the next line, at the very end, I'll say print x. What will be my output? I'm going to give you four options here. Let's see. First option says error. Second option says, let's say it's going to be hello itself. Third option says it's going to be, let's say, ABC. Fourth option says it's going to be ABCO. So out of all of these four options, which one do you think is correct? So this is X. X is a string here. Hello. For I in X, X is equivalent to ABC. By the way, this is again inside of the for loop here. So I'm going to draw this something like this. So this is inside of the for loop, right? So, and again, this is basic operations going on here. So which one do you think, which one will be correct? I hope the options are quite visible right now. So, okay, we got one error option. You can say number one. I mean, the option is represented as number one, so you can say number one. We have option number two, hello. Three is ABC, and four is ABCO. So, which one do you think will be correct? Okay, so I see many guys saying error. Okay, one error, error. Again, guys, if you're new to this channel, please make sure to subscribe. I'm saying this over and over again because this is going to be helpful for you itself. I see ABC. I see ABC is the one of the options. One of the guys are saying ABC. One of them is saying error. Then we have fourth one. Okay, Kishore is saying four. Okay, Kishore is saying four. Okay, I see only one person is saying four. Okay, one guy is also saying three. Okay, I see the common answers is one, three, and the common answer is one and three. Hmm. Okay. I agree. Okay, garbage value. Okay, that's like out of the options. Like you are introducing your fifth option, like garbage value. Okay, great. I'll consider this. No issues. This is garbage values by what? Ravindra. Okay, Ravindra. I'll consider this. No issues. I hear you. Okay. Okay, I'll tell you the output here. So what's happening is, I guess only one guy got the output right, but right now I see many people are getting the output right. So the output here will be literally for ABCO. Output will be ABCO, and this won't be an error. This won't be an error. So I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. So X is hello, right? Sorry for all of them. So X is hello, right? So for I in X, what's happening internally is I'll tell you. I'll tell you. So up here, I'll say that for I in X, whenever this is getting executed, so for I in, let's say X. So what I'll do is internally, I'll replace this X with whatever the value is hello, right? I'll say here that let's say this is going to be hello. So right now, this has been converted to for I in, let's say hello. Now in the next step, I'm saying reinitialize X with, let's say, ABC, and then I'm doing X plus equal to I, X plus equal to I. So in the very first step, let's see, in the very first step, I is H. So after the first iteration, X value is basically ABCH. Now when the second iteration begins, I has accessed H. Now I is at E. So in the next iteration, X will again be ABC, but again I'll be adding E here, right? Because X I is E. And then this will go on until I reach the very end where I is equivalent to, let's say, O. And I again go here, X is ABC and X plus I. Therefore, this will be literally ABCO. And this won't be an error at all. This won't be an error. So for most of you guys who are saying error, this is not correct. I mean, you are not correct, but okay, that's completely fine. We are here to learn. Okay. X equal to I plus X. I don't get your point. X equal to I plus X. By the way, this X plus equal to I is basically the translation. If you translate this in layman terms, this is basically X equal to X plus I. If you do X equal to I plus X, that's different. See, you do ABC plus, let's say, O, that's going to be ABCO. But if you do like O plus ABC, O plus, let's say, ABC, that's going to be OABC. That's not what you want. I'm doing this stuff, X plus equal to Y. Okay, so it won't really be an error. The option four will be correct. I see many guys are many people are saying correct right now. No, actually, garbage value won't be the answer here. So that's not going to be the thing here. Again, you can just kind of, let's say, run this on a command prompt. Let's say I'm going to run it here itself, no issues. Just to clarify things right in front of you guys. Let's say I'm going to write Python, and let's say I hope this is kind of visible, this terminal. So let's say I'm going to define x is equivalent to, let's say, hello. Okay, just for a clear clarification, right? We are going to do step by step. So I'm going to do for I in x, for I in x. In the next line, I'll say, let's say x is equivalent to, I mentioned ABC, and then let's say x plus equivalent to I. Then in this case, if I do print x, then let's say it's what's going to be, it's going to give me ABCO. You can see here, right? ABCO. I've highlighted that as well. So again, this is something which I've written here itself. This same code here, this same code here. Answer which is ABCO. So for those who are saying like, let's say garbage value ABC hello is not the answer, that's great. And then we have error. No, that's not going to be the thing. ABCO is the output, and I've even clarified here as well. Okay. Explain for loop once. Again, like there's nothing to be explained with respect to for loop, but again, for you, I'm going to explain. So what's happening here is that, okay, so in for loop you can access the values in two ways. Let me tell you, let's do one question on that itself. So I'm going to tell you a question that, okay, which of the ways, which of the, let's say, which of the following ways are valid to are valid. Which of the following ways are valid? I'm just going to do this question. Okay. The first way is saying that, okay, for I in range, let's say there's a number n, then I'm accessing all of the values. Let's say print I. Second is saying, notice carefully before jumping onto the conclusion, for I in, let's say, list, I'm going to print I. I'm going to print I. And again, list is basically a list. Let's say this is going to be a simple list here. I mean, nothing is complicated here. Let's say 1, 2, 5, and 6. That's it. Now, third approach is saying, notice carefully, for underscore, not any variable, right? I'm writing underscore here itself. I'm writing underscore. So for underscore in, let's say, range, let's say n, in this case, I'm going to print, let's say, some random value, let's say 100. That's it. Now, out of all of these out of all of these three options, which one of them is correct and which one of them is wrong? So the fourth option can be all of the above. All of the above. Okay, so out of all of these options, again, so let's consider that this is a multiple choice question. I mean, multiple answer question, MAQs. So in this case, what do you think is correct and what do you think is wrong? Out of all of these options, one, two, three, one, two, three. And again, this is something which is written inside of for loop. So don't get confused with that. Okay. Which of the following ways are valid? And again, for I in range n, let's say, again, don't be confused that n is not defined. So that's error. Let's say n is 5. Let's say n is 5. Up here, I also have defined list. I have defined n. Let's say up here again, n is, let's say, 8. I don't want the output. I don't want you to say the output print I. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, something like that. I'm telling you which one of these ways is going to be valid and which one of them is invalid. Okay. I see a lot of them are saying, I hope so. This is the second answer. Yes. Hmm. 4, 4. Okay. 2 is correct. Yes. 1, 2 is correct. Okay. 1, 2 is correct. Okay. Someone is saying option 4 is correct. Okay. Code with Kishore. Okay. All of the above. 4, all of the above. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Okay. I see a bunch of them saying number 2 or 3 is incorrect and so on. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Okay. No issues. So up here, what I'll say is the option 4 is correct. All of the above. So all of the above are correct. All of the above are correct. And I can even prove that. I'll write it in the command prompt here. What's happening here is for I in range n, print I. So again, it's going to print all the values from 0 till, let's say, 4. No issues on that. Okay. For I in list, print I. Again, this is going to print all of these values 1, 2, 5, and 6. That's it. Now, if I talk about this one, let's say for underscore, you can see there's an underscore here. Underscore. So this is basically an underscore. No issues on that. So you might be like, okay, this is going to give me an error. No. This in Python is known as dummy variable. Dummy variable. And again, this is valid. Why? Again, dummy variable is used when you kind of want to loop, right? You kind of want to loop, but you don't want the variable's value. You don't want the variable's value. One good use case can be, I'll tell you one good use case. So again, this is valid. Third one is also valid. I'll tell you one good use case. I'll tell you that, okay, I'm going to give you, let's say, t numbers. I'm going to give you t numbers, like let's say n numbers I'm going to give. I mean, I'm going to give you t numbers and the number is represented as n. And you have to check that the number is even or let's say odd. So how will you be able to define the program? You will say you will be taking input t times. You will be taking input t times. So one of the ways is you can say t is equivalent to int of input. This is how you take the input, by the way, in Python. And then you say that let's say I'm going to write for I in range t. Then what you do is you take the n int, like n value, which is basically the integer, and then you go about checking whether the number is, let's say, even or odd. You'd go about checking. I hope you will be able to do that. So on that note, you see the point here, right? For I in range t, so let's say t was, let's say I put 3, so it's going to run for I, let's say 0, 1 and 2. So you can see it's going to run for 3 times, which is correct, and it's going to take the number n 3 times, whatever the number is, let's say 1, 5 and 7, and it's going to print the output. But you see the point here that I'm not utilizing I at all. I am not utilizing I at all. I mean, inside of this code even, I am not going to utilize I. Up here, I'll be as simple as I will be writing if n modulo 2, let's say print, I don't know, odd, else print, let's say even. That's it. I've not written print, but you get my point, right? So in this case, I see this is useless here. So what I'll do is I'll replace this with, let's say, underscore. That's it. And again, I can just kind of write this private variable. Yeah, you can just think of it in that way. So let's see. What I'll do is I'll just write it up here itself. I hope the first two were clear. So I'll say for underscore, let's say range, in range, let's say 3, right? So I'm gonna print, let's say, hello 3 times. I'm gonna print hello 3 times, and see it's going to be printed perfectly. Hello, 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 right? 3 times. But again, this is not a problem. This is basically an underscore variable and it's going to be known as dummy variable. You can think of it in that way. Answer of previous program. Um, Someone is saying, isn't it a protected variable, sir? I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you, Suresh. I'll get back to you. I know, like protected variable is kind of something which is coming into OOPS concept. I mean, that's not really OOPS concept, but when I kind of learned it, I learned it in the OOPS concept itself. No issues. I'll come back to that. Answer of previous program. So I think so. I mentioned that this is the previous program, right? I mean, all of the above is the answer. And if you're talking about, let's say this one, this was ABCO. If you remember, this was the code. Again, if you kind of missed out on this, please, uh, make sure to subscribe the channel. You will be receiving all the updates, and this video will be uploaded as well after the content after the live gets over. Okay. So let's move on. Let's talk a little about list slicing. Okay, let's talk a little about list slicing. So let's say I'm going to write a list here. Notice carefully, pay a little attention, you will be able to do well. So let's say I'm going to write 1, 5, 6, 7, and let's say 3, 2. So this should be 2, 1, and let's say 8. And I'm gonna write that, okay, if this is the list here, if this is, let's say, list 1 here, and let's say I'm gonna write something like list 2. So list 2 is literally list 1 of, I'll tell you, 2 till, let's say, I'm not gonna write the indices here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm gonna say, let's say, from 1 till, let's say, 7, but with 3. So out of all of these, like what will be the output of list 2? Can you like tell me what will be the output of list 2? If I ever write something like print list 2, then what will be the output? I'm not going to present the options here because that will you will be able to clear it. I mean, you will be able to get that. Can you tell me what will be the output here with respect to this list? Again, I'm not gonna write the indices because that's going to be quite helpful for you. But again, can you tell me, like, the numbers are 1, 7, and 3? Okay, let's write the indices as well. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. On that note, can you tell me what's going to be stored in list 2? Yeah, I know this is slicing. I know this is slicing. 538. Okay, someone is saying 53, someone is saying 53. Okay, some guy said that, okay, can we print this? Let's see, no issues. Let's say I'm gonna print this underscore stuff here. So it's gonna give me 2. So it's going to be having the latest value, right? This is going from 0, 1, 2. So at the end we have 2, right? At the end we will be having 2. So this is going to be, at the first step it's going to be 0, second step 2, I mean first, I see, first step 0, second step 1, and at the end 2. And it's going to break out because the range itself is 3. So the latest value this underscore is holding is 2. So that's what we are getting. Even if you like, um, check the type of this stuff here. So let's say type stuff here, you can see class int. That's pretty much it. Okay, someone is saying 573, 538. Okay, let's see. And someone even said a bigger one, like let's say 56321. Okay, let's see. I'll tell you what will be the output here. So I'm gonna begin from the first index and I'll go till 7, but I'll exclude 7. Notice carefully, I'll exclude 7. Let's see. So at 1, I'll begin and I'll go. I'll see. This is what my area of interest is. This is what my area of interest is. You might be like, why have I not considered 7? That's what the property, or that's what it said in the documentation as well. That this is nothing but the start point. Like this is the start range. This is literally the end range, and this is nothing but the step up value. Okay, this is the step up value. So in this case, the end is 7. So I'm going to consider till end minus 1, but inclusive. So if I say I'll consider 7, I'll say I'll consider 7 but exclusive. But from 1, I'll consider till 6. Now it's saying 3. So what I'll do is I'll pick 5 first. So this should be 5 right now. So let me just redo that. So I'll be picking 5 first. Then I'll skip, let's say, 3 places forward. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm at 3. I'll pick 3. I'll skip 3 places forward. So that's 1, 2, 3. I see I cannot go further than this. So my answer should be literally 5 and 3. 5 and 3 should be my answer. Many people were saying 5, 3, and 8. I know why you were saying, because you might be considering this 7. But let's see, 1, 5, 6, 7, 3. I'll just write it here itself, so that it's clear enough. Let's say I'm going to clear this. I'm going to write Python. And let's say my list is list 1. That's what I was taking. Let's say it's 15673, 15673, and then we have 218, 21, and let's say 8. So if I do, let's say list 2 is equivalent to list 1. Again, I'm not even changing any of these values. 1, 7, and 3. 1 colon 7 colon 3. You can see the same stuff I've written here. Now I'm going to execute this. So that's done. And if I print list 2, if I print, let's say list 2, is going to give me 5 and 3. It's going to give me 5 and 3. You can see here, right? So again, please make sure that whenever you are given this end index, don't be carried forward. Okay, don't be carried forward that I'm going to consider till 8. No, that's going to be wrong. If you were able to consider till 8, then again, definitely 5, 3, and 8 would have been the answer. But again, we don't consider the end index. We consider till n minus 1. And if you remember, even in for loop, when we write, let's say, for I in range, let's say 8. So what are the values for I? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Till 7 it goes. It never considers 8. I hope that makes sense. So the same stuff applies here as well. Okay, so 5 and 3 is going to be the correct answer, and I hope you are able to get it. Someone is saying 5, 8, and 7. No, that's not what I expected from you, but okay, that's okay. Okay, please explain again. I didn't understand. Okay. No issues. Let me just write the list again, and then after this, I'll be taking the doubts. No issues. So 15673. I'll write it up here itself. So it's literally 15673, and let's say we have 218, 218. So I'll write 2, 1, and 8. So this is what my list is. Okay, I'll write the indices here: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I was saying, please give me the value of list of, let's say, 1 till 7 and 3. So up here, the general convention says this is nothing but the start index. Start index. Second one says end index, and third one, if we have a third value, ever if we have a third value, then it says this is basically the step up value. This is basically the step up value. So in this case, when, if you remember the range function, if I write, let's say, range of 8, then the very last value it takes is 7, right? It never considers 8. I hope this is clear. On that note, if the end index itself is 7, then I'm going to consider, let's say, till end idx, so that's end index minus 1. So that should be 7 minus 1 is, if I'm not wrong, that's going to be 6. So I'm going to consider till 6. So what's my area of interest here? What's my area of interest? Is this going to be highlighted? I don't think so. So let's say what my area of interest is. So my area of interest is basically this block from 1 till 6. That's it. This is what my area of interest is. Now I have kind of sliced using start and end pointer. I just have to take the values incrementing the index by 3. That's it. So at the very beginning, I'll pick 5 because I'm starting from here itself. So 5 comes up here. Now I'll jump 3 places forward. So that's going to be 1 place, 2 place, 3 place. That's it. I'm going to pick 3. Okay, again I'm going to jump 3 places forwards. That's going to be 1 place, 2 place, and as soon as I move up here, I get 3 places forward. I get 8. So many of you guys were saying 8. No, that won't be there because my area of interest was from this one index till the end index 6. So if I get some value at 8, which is at the 7th index, I won't consider it. I hope this is quite logical. So again, my answer will be up here. It will be 5 and 3. I hope this is clear now. Step up value means, okay, so step up value means you're going to consider, okay, let me tell you in this way. So idx is, let's say, here, then it will be at 4. Yes. So like it's quite basic enough. I'll tell you again, no issues. So when I'm beginning from 5, let's say my idx is up here, let's say my index I is up here. So I'll say whenever my step up value is given, I'll increment that I with that step up value. So if I is at 1, if I it as 1, then if I do I plus equivalent to step up value 3, then at the next step I will be what? 4. So I go to the fourth index, which is having value 3. So at first I pick 5, I pick 3, and then again my I is at 4. I do I plus equivalent to step up value, which is 3 here, 3 here. So again this will be I is equivalent to 7. I see at 7, I mean my last index I can access is 6, right? So at 7 it never exists. So it's going to be 5 and 3 itself. Okay, let's consider another one just for your more clarity. Let's say I'm going to take numbers 8, 9, 10, 11, and let's say 12. So this is the list here. This is the list here. And I'll say that please, please, please. Again, this is an exercise. Please do this. I'll say my list is going to be, okay, what will be the output for this one? 2 colon 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say 5, 2 colon 5, and let's say 4. So what will be the output? Can you like tell me what will be the output here? 2 colon 5 colon 4. What will be the output here? Again, I'm going to write the indexes just for your more clarity. I hope you will be able to answer this quickly. What will be the output? I'm going to give you 2 seconds, not really more than that. This is it's a basic problem. I want to print this stuff here. List of 2 till 5 and with a step up value. This is a step up value of 4. That's it. Yes, if there's no starting value, then by default the starting index will be 0 itself. That's correct. That's completely correct, Lucky. Yes, see, Mukesh was saying, thank you, Mukesh, for clarifying, Pallavi, that it's like an increment value. Yes, that's what I've explained. Yes, exactly. We have to move 3 steps further. What if starting value is not there? Again, some guy explained if starting value is not there, we will be starting from 0th index. Okay, so many people are saying 10, and some guys are saying error as well. Okay, I see only bunch of them are saying error. Someone is saying none. Okay, we'll see to that. And someone is saying 10 itself. Okay, so let's take this. Before even I do that, let's take this 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What I'll do is I'll create a list here itself. Let's say 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And let's see if you guys are correct. I'll say print list of, let's say it was 2 till 5, but with a step up value of 3, if you remember, right? 2 till 5, but with a step up value of 3, if you remember, right? Okay, so with a step up value of 4, okay, no issues. I'll write 4 here, no issues. So it's going to give me 10. And for the ones who are saying 10, it's correct. For the ones who are saying error, I know why you are saying error, because you might be like, the index, I'll tell you. So for the ones who are saying that, okay, this is going to be an error, I know why you have said that, because I see you might be like, okay, 5 is there, but I see 5 is out of index bound. I mean, this is going to be giving me an array index out of bound exception, right? This is what you might be thinking. But okay, this is not going to be the thing. Up here, again, I mentioned if this is the end index, then I'll consider till, let's say 5 minus 1, which is going to be 4. So this is right. This is right. So I'm going to consider from 2 till, let's say 4. So this is what my area of interest is. Now again, my IDX, suppose I value is here. I'm saying increment value is 4. So currently I'll consider 10. Then I'll increment my I with 4 value. So it's going to be I plus equal to 4. So I is 2. So I do I plus equivalent to 4, which is my step up value. So I become 6. So I see 6 is never existing here. 6 is never existing here. So it's not going to give me anything. And literally my answer will be 10 itself. And that's something I've explained here as well. Like I've written here as well. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I do the slicing here, 2, 5, 4, and 10 is the answer. Okay. So let's hop on to the very last question, and then we can wrap up the session for today. Again, if you are finding this session helpful from any perspective, please make sure to subscribe. That's going to be helpful for me and you as well. Okay. Let's say we have a list here. Let's say we have a list here. Notice carefully. And I'm going to write something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very basic thing. And I'll say, notice carefully, print list of, let's say these are the indices here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll say that print list of, let's say 3 colon 1 colon negative 2. Or let's say instead of 1, I'm going to have it as 0. I'm going to have it as 0. So what will this give me? What will this give me? That's what my question is. I'm saying this is my list here. I say this is my start. I'm even writing this, right? In an MCQ, this won't be given. This is my end. And this is nothing but my step down value. Step down value. You see the difference, right? In the step up value, some guy mentioned clearly that we are incrementing the value of the index, let's say. In this case, we're decrementing the value. But what will be the output here? Will this be an error, or will this give me some valid output? Can you tell me? Just looking at this question. Okay, someone is saying 4 and 2. 4 and 2. Okay. Okay, thank you for the feedback. Thank you. Once, please. One guy said once, please. Can you please explain once before? Answer before. Okay, I'll explain that again. I'll explain that again. No issues. Many people are saying 4 and 2, 4 and 2. Maybe error. No, there's nothing called maybe error. You have to be sure. Error or no error or some output. Computer science guy said error. Okay. Spark is saying 5. Great, great. We have a lot of questions, like we have a lot of things. We need -1 to print in reverse. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna do that. Okay. List is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm saying that please print, let's say, list of, what did I mention? Did I write something like 3, 0, right? So it's gonna be 3, 0, and it's -2. So let's see. It's giving me 4 and 2. It's giving me 4 and 2. That's what my correct answer is. Let's see why. Let's see why. Let's see why. So what I'll say is, in this case, starting index is 3. In this case, starting index is 3. So this is what my starting index is. And my ending index is 0, which means I'm going to consider one greater value. So if ending index is, see, if I'm going in a reverse fashion, for example, from the end till, let's say, start of the list, in that case, ending index is going to be falling up here, right? So I hope that makes sense. So in this case, my start and end will be reversed. So let's say if I'm going in this fashion, but then my start will be here and my end will be here. So I'm going to consider from start till, let's say, end plus 1. This is what my area of interest will be. So from 3 till, let's say, 1, I'll consider all these values. Now in this case itself, my I value is at as of now at 4, which is like literally at index 3. So I'll consider 4 here. then I'm saying decrease I by 2. So I was at, let's say, 3. Then if I decrease that value by 2, this becomes literally 1. So I consider 1th value, which is 2. Now again, my I value gets decreased by 1. I mean by 2. That becomes 1, 2, minus 1. And I see this is again out of bounds. So I don't take that. And my output is literally 4, comma 2. That's it. Someone is saying 5 and 3. No, no, no. It will be 4 and 2. It will be 4 and 2. It won't be an error. It won't be an error. I even explained up here itself. Like it won't be an error. See again, you have to practice these stuff. Okay, you have to practice. These are quite simple enough, but again, when you are trying to solve some MCQs, then at that point of time you tend to miss out on these concepts. Okay, can you tell me what's the difference between these two? I'll tell you what's the difference between these two. Okay, I want to print. Let's say this is the list here having values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll tell you. I want to print all of these list values. I want to print all of these list values. Okay, and what's the difference between this first approach? This is the first approach, and I'll tell you the second approach. First approach says print list, but let's say print star list, and second approach says print list. Third approach says print list. Then we have no value here. We have a double colon, and then we have a 1. So out of all of these values, 1, 2, and 3, which one of them will print or give me all the values? Like literally, I want all of these values here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is the last question for the day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is there. I want to print all the values in any fashion. I don't care. Out of all of these options, 1, 2, 3, these are the options. First option, second option, third option. Which one of them is going to give me all of the values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, some guy said 3. Someone is saying 2 and 3. All of the above. Okay, all of the above was not an option, but okay, I'll consider that. That will definitely be the option. Then we see 2 comma 3, 2 comma 3. Why are you not considering 1? Like, what's wrong with 1 here? Star list. What's wrong with 1 here? What's wrong? Okay, I'll tell you. All of these options are correct. All of these options are correct. The reason being, print list is again going to simply print all of these values. Print list, again, since I have not mentioned, you can clearly see here, I have not mentioned any, let's say, starting point, any ending point. Then by default, this starting point will be 0, and this ending point will be literally n, where n is the, let's say, length of the list. Length of the list. That's it. And again, since this is 1, again, if this is the list 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then from this, I'll move on by one place, 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 and I'll consider all of the values and print them. Now, what is star list? For those who are saying error, error, error. So this star list again is going to expand all of these values and print it in, let's say, in this format. So all of these 2 and 3 is going to print the list in this format, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But if I talk about star list, it's going to give me value 1 space. So this is going to be space 2 space 3, 4, and 5. So let me tell you, let me like demonstrate with respect to example itself. So let's say my list is, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in this case, let's talk about, let's say, the third option. If you remember, list of, again, I'm not providing any start parameter, I'm not providing any ending parameter. I'm going to provide the step up value. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what if I don't provide any slicing also? It's going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what if I do something like star list? It's going to expand all of these values and it's going to give me in a proper format: 1 space 2 space 3 space 4 space 5. Let's see that. It's going to give me this. That's it. This star symbol can be thought of as tuple unpacking, right? Tuple unpacking, and you can refer the web as well. I mean, it's not really a hard concept to learn. It's a basic concept. Or what I'll do is I'll explain it in the next session. That will be great because it's forward order. But if we use negative values, will it go in reverse order? Okay, Jatin, that's a good question. Every time a list goes in forward order, but if we use negative values, will it go in reverse order? Okay. On that note, let's see. On that note, let's see if you are correct here or not. let's say your list was something like this, right? Let's say your list was, again, I'm going to take that same list just to make sure I'm taking the right values. This is the thing. And you are saying that, okay, let me just expand this as well. You're saying that, okay, if I do something like list of, let's say, 1 till 4 but with an increment value of 2, then this is correct. But what if the value here is negative? What will be the answer? Let's see. It's going to be empty. It's going to be empty. That's it. There's nothing going to be printed. So for example, even if I had nothing up here and I print something like this, then the value might be different. 5, 3 and 1. Why? I'll tell you. So see, up here, if this is the list here, if this is the list 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, this is the list I'm considering. So if I do something like list, but I'm not providing any start and end values, and let's say this is 2, and I'm doing something like list, start and end values are not provided, I'm doing something like -2. Then in this case, the outputs will be little bit different. Why? Whenever the program sees that, okay, there's no start and end values, but the step up value is positive, in that case, it's going to go in this direction, from this direction to this direction. That's it. That's how it will go. So if I consider like two step up values like this, is going to be 1, 3 and 5. 1, 3 and 5 will be the answer if I do it here. So if I had 2 itself, it's going to be 1, 3 and 5. You can see that, right? But if it's -2, the program itself detects that, okay, the user wants to go from this direction to the beginning. So for example, from the end, I want to go till the start of the list, or the beginning of the list. So in this case, this will be literally, let's say, you can see here, if I just do something like -2, it's going to give me 5, 3 and 1. So literally it's picking 5, then it's moving 2 places back 3, and then it's moving 2 places back 1. So it's going to give me 5, 3 and 1. I hope this is clear. This is going to be 1, 3 and 5. Okay, so we can save there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. So we can save that for later session. And we are again going to update you with the latest session. And for that, please make sure to subscribe. That's going to be helpful. Okay, that's going to be helpful. And you'll be receiving the updates as well. Amrendra, I will be conducting the next session soon enough. What I expecting you to do is please make sure to subscribe the channel, and please do that thing where you kind of turn on the notifications, right? Turn on the notifications. So that's going to be helpful for you. You will be receiving the notifications itself. And again, before the session, as you have seen with respect to this one as well, I have kind of set scheduled thing, right? So you can be aware of, let's say the session is going to be occurring, let's say 2 days after. Let's say today I'm scheduling the session, it's going to be occurring at, let's say, on Tuesday or Wednesday. You will be notified beforehand. Continue the classes like this daily, sir. Okay, I'll request the team. I'll request the team, and I'll let you know the feedback. I'll let you know the feedback. Okay, subscribe. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. If at all you have any doubt, please throw it to me. Please throw it to me. Again, Arun, I'll tell you the next session timing. I'm writing here. Next session will be held soon. Please make sure to, let's say, subscribe for notifications. That's it. That's what I can say right now. Again, I'm not sure as of now with the next session, but again, it will be conducted soon enough. So please subscribe and you will be able to get the channel. Will this be saved in your channel? Definitely. Nadia, definitely this will be saved in our channel, Explore. And definitely you will be able to access it later on as well after the session gets over. So let's say on some days you are not able to access or watch the live, you will be definitely able to watch it later on. No issues. Yes. I'll cover the OOPS concept. There are a lot to cover, like inheritance, superclass. Many things are great to cover. Constructor, default constructor. Sir, when I use print list colon 1, it shows invalid error at first colon. Okay, that's going to be invalid. I'll tell you why. You're using print list. See, I'm going to copy that same stuff here. I hope you can see in my live itself. I'm going to copy that same stuff. Let's see if it's copied. So you are doing something like this. I'll tell you. This is where you are going wrong. Please don't make silly mistakes. I'll tell you. So let's see if this has been copied. See, this is what you're doing, right? So before that, let's say I'm going to define one list here. Basic list 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be 3, 4 and 5. So this is what you are doing. Let me tell you. Okay, so I'm going to paste this here. Let's see. This is what you're doing. Print list of colon and 1. So you might be like, oh, I'm quite smart enough. I'm not providing any start or end values. I'm providing this. It's going to be error. It's going to be error. Let me tell you, this is going to be Okay, it's not getting executed. Yeah, you can see this is invalid syntax. Please read the error. What's the error? It's invalid syntax. Now try to figure out why it's an invalid syntax. The reason being, you are using rounded brackets here. You're using rounded brackets here. This won't be clubbed in a rounded bracket. This will be literally, okay, so this is going to be, you can see here you have used rounded brackets, right? This one, I've highlighted this. So this is going to be basically square. And again, this is going to be square. And if you try to execute this again with 1, it's going to be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So please make sure to read the error. Whenever you are practicing, make sure to read the error. That's going to be helpful. Yes, list contains square brackets. Again, like Malika, I'll tell you, list of 1, 4, and -2 is empty. You can explain it. Okay. Um, I'll do that. I'll do that. So basically, what's happening is, let's say this was the list. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then so on. This continues. And I'm saying if these are the indices, then by default, if I have some starting value and let's say some ending value, let's say 100, I don't care as of now. And if I have something like, let's say a negative value, which is -3, then you see there's a conflict here. There's a conflict. What is the conflict? I'll tell you. What is the conflict? The conflict here is you are saying in the first step of the program that my start value is this and end value is this. So you are saying that, okay, access the list in this fashion. So you're going in this way, in this direction, right? But again, you are saying you're providing some step down value. So you are again saying that, okay, go in this way. So that's a conflict, right? So again, for that reasons, the list will be empty. Exactly. We use star and args concept as well. And we also use something called double star KW args, keyword arguments. That's star args, and there we have double star args. Yes. Again, these are going to be helpful for InfyTQ itself. I mean, I could have just solved a random bunch of questions from InfyTQ, but again, I wanted to explain with respect to some examples. Okay, some guy mentioned this. Okay, I'm gonna take this itself. So there's no value provided. Okay, there's no value provided. So let's say list is literally, I'm gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4. So some guy is saying list of, say no values provided. So it's gonna give me invalid syntax. It's gonna give me invalid syntax. The reason being that definitely you're not providing any start or end value. But if you're not providing start or any end value, make sure to provide some step up or step down value. Now, if you do something like this, let's say 1 colon 5, in this case, by default, my step up value is 1. I hope that makes sense, right? And if you provide something like, let's say 4 and then 1, in this case, by default, my step down value is 1. So again, up here, I've not provided anything. So it's going to be an error. That's it. So in this case, like you're saying, this is going to be, let's say, is this going to be valid or not? It's going to be an invalid syntax. No issues on that. Again, when you're not able to figure out why it's not working, see what the error is, Google it, and you will be able to, like, you will be able to know the answer itself, why it's not working, and you will be able to learn few more things. That's it. Okay, so we are going to wrap up the session for today, and I hope the session was quite clear enough and informative. Please make sure to subscribe the channel, turn on the notification, like the video. Okay, then we are going to end the stream here. Thank you for tuning in and have a good evening. Bye bye.